Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nona from thealliancelover.com. I have my first men's body ID video for you today. We are covering the romantic Elvis Presley, who is verified. And in the next video, we'll go over a verified dramatic, and then we'll fill in the groups in between to kind of set up this spectrum in terms of yin yang for men. Disclaimer, I am not a certified Kibbe consultant. I don't know if that exists. I just really love style, different systems of style, and my focus is on the individual with their unique proportions, essence, and goals. So if you need any help styling, I provide a very customized approach, and you can find my services on thealliancelover.com. All right, so let's start talking about Elvis's actual body, his frame, his features. Why is he yin dominant? So with the men's Kibbe body types, there is a little bit more leeway in terms of height. So for example, in the female system, there seems to be more dominance or importance placed on size in terms of determining yin and yang dominance. Here, that still matters, but it doesn't seem to be as pronounced. Elvis is 6 feet tall, so I wouldn't call him particularly petite, but his yin dominance shows up in his overall lushness and roundness and softness. If we look at his body and his face, there is just no sharpness, no angularity, no bluntness. He is just so smooth, softly wide all throughout. So taking a closer look at his face and his body, he has these very luscious big eyes, a more softly wide fleshy nose, soft wide cheeks, a softly defined jaw, and very full, shapely, luscious lips. He has a very beautiful face, kind of like David, the sculpture of David or the statue of David. It is that kind of smooth, sculpted, blended beauty. And looking at his limbs, even though he is on the leaner side, you're not seeing too much natural muscle definition. So he doesn't look extremely muscular, and none of his bones are really sticking out. And if you look at his limbs, there is a little bit of shortness to them. There are other men who are of similar heights, and if you look at their limbs and their overall body, they just look a little bit longer, more elongated. So overall, Elvis's yin dominance, or his main quality, shows up as this lushness, and it is a very sensual image that he has. He looks very romantic, he looks luxurious, he looks very artful. He is kind of like the male version of a muse. He doesn't exactly bring to mind images of ruggedness or, say, practicality or utilitarianism. He has a very romantic image quality to him. So think about what kind of image resonates with you, or what image you think you really give off, because that can help you figure out where you are on the spectrum. So with all of this beauty and this lushness, it makes total sense to really frame that face, frame those luscious features, and you want to frame the face with luxurious, draping, fluid, soft, tactile smoothness that really echoes the lush curves of the face. So here we have a very fluid, silky, draped scarf paired with this raised collar, bringing so much attention to his face. Here we have this little necktie, neckerchief situation going on. Again, a little bit more delicate, not too rough, not rugged. And here on the bottom, we have this very soft raised sweater collar, again, framing the face with softness, fluidity, luxuriousness in materials that you just want to reach out and delicately touch. Here are some more examples of collars. Again, collars are great for framing the face. Look for interesting collars, high collars, winged collars, raised collars, very round collars, shawl collars, or lapel or collar pins. Anything to bring a little bit more of that intricacy and that exuberance and that artfulness to the neck, the upper chest, and around the face. So with all of that harmony and that softness, you want to make sure your patterns and your prints don't clash. So when you wear prints and patterns, go for something with soft edges. It doesn't have to be circles, it can be a printed shirt, but the stripes have to be well blended. They can't be too loud and too high contrast. Here, this kind of floral print has very smooth edges. It is not too symmetrical, so it's decentralized. That's a very yin quality because yang is symmetrical, it's sleek, it's centralized, and then yin kind of has that fluid, decentralized, swirling quality to it. So if it conjures up more yin imagery, that tends to be a much more harmonious print. On the bottom, these very geometric, high contrast prints clash with the roundness and softness of his face, and they are a bit distracting. So now that we've covered framing the face and what kinds of prints are best, now think of the full outfit and prioritize a luxurious and sensual look or nature or impression. Don't try to prioritize anything overly rugged or practical or angular or overly tailored, because that will be at odds, with your yin dominant features. So here, all of these outfits have that drapiness, that fluidity, a little bit of extra volume, a little bit of intricacy, smoothness, satinness, face framing qualities, and they look really beautiful on him. That being said, you don't have to wear silk blouses all the time. You can still wear more rough kinds of material, but just make sure that they are framing the face and they are prioritizing your features. So here on the left, we have this beautifully curved hat that really frames his upper head. And we have these two collars working together to pull attention towards his face. The materials are not competing with his beauty, they are supporting it. Whereas here on the right, we have a very simple outfit, a rather thin collar, a very straight stripe print on the shirt, a very symmetrical shirt with a much more fitted look to it. So there's nothing extra about it. There's no softness, no fluidity. It just kind of lies flat on Elvis, but Elvis isn't flat, he's round. So that combined with these very, I would say, straight cut pants, there's just no curve in this outfit, and it doesn't really support his romantic image. That's why I don't consider this a very successful outfit, because you're noticing Elvis and then the outfit instead of the whole image. Here is another example of that. On the left, we have Elvis in a very broadly padded suit jacket. It's very big, it's very flat, it's a little oversized here, and really there's nothing round or sensual or fluid about it. But here we have a much more open collar. It's a little bit more raised. We have this fluidity to the material. We have these gorgeous voluminous sleeves, and he just looks so much more sensual and like Elvis. I notice his whole image here, whereas in this picture I notice Elvis in a piece of clothing. And lastly, I just want to give a little bit of context by showing you some photos of Elvis next to men who have more of that yang quality to them. So here on the left, he is standing next to Johnny Cash. Just looking at their faces, they give off very different energies and expressions. Johnny has much more ruggedness to his look. His face is much more defined. It's not as smoothly lush and curved. There are more contours. There's more roughness to his look. And I think that bold, high contrast, more geometric, and more matte item of clothing he's wearing really suits him. If I were to put that on Elvis, I think he would be a little bit overwhelmed. And on the bottom here, we have Frank Sinatra. Again, just looking at their faces, Frank looks a lot more, I would say, active, a little bit more dynamic and electric. And next to him, Elvis looks even more like that still beautifully sculpted Greek statue. So that concludes today's video. I will be covering dramatics next and going throughout the whole spectrum, and I will be covering multiple men of each type, and I'll also be doing a video series on the different more modern kinds of styles that I think would really bring out the unique nature and appeal, charisma, and beauty of these various types. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.